All right, this is the pick everybody's been waiting for. Titans took quarterback Malik Willis out of Liberty in the 2022 NFL Draft. So, Malik Willis was my quarterback one. And throughout the whole process of watching him and, you know, people ranking him quarterback one and then ranking Kenny Pickett quarterback one. And then at one point, it was Sam Howell and Matt Corral. It was just a fluctuation of quarterbacks taking that quarterback one spot. And just before I begin on Malik Willis, which you're going to want to hear, but before I begin, is the more I think about why the quarterbacks dropped in this draft is just a testament to the depth of other positions, the strength of the 2023 NFL draft, some of the possibilities of veterans being available this year and next year. And just it was a draft where there just wasn't enough potency of talent. And this can be in any order, in any range. There wasn't enough potency of talent, experience, um, you know, longevity as terms of being good for a long period of time, body of work. Body of work, you could give awards to everybody. Body of work, Desmond Ritter. Peak season, Bailey Zappi. Heisman worthy season, Kenny Pickett. Athleticism and betting on traits, Malik Willis. Pinpoint accuracy in an intermediate area, Matt Corral. Most traditional pocket passer, Carson Strong. Everybody had a specialized attribute or quality about them, but nobody really just stood out. And teams were like, okay, nobody's super special, so we'll take, one in the first, and then the next one 2 rounds later. So that's just kind of how it played out. But 2 minutes in, back to what you guys want to see, right? But that is important information that you guys got to know why people dropped. It could be medicals and interviews and stuff like that, but I think that's really why when you start to think about it. I think it was consensus among the league in everybody's circle, but nobody really knows because you're not there yet for me. But Malik Willis, right? QB1. First things that I noticed was his bubbly personality. Like I have my notes right here, and just so happened it's on quarterbacks. I didn't use notes in the other videos, but I have bubbly personality, willing worker with strong faith. He's very faith bound in Christianity. Arm strength stands out. Good straight line burst with wiggle precision. That just means he's just a definite angular cutter. Movement skills outside of the pocket, worked primarily from shotgun. Will need to learn pro concepts, his hots, his check downs, incorporate running back and tight ends more. And I said no reason a head coach or offensive coordinator couldn't use his traits or talent. And when you talk about players that he compares to, whether it be to a T or just in general, I had Deshaun Watson. I even put Josh Allen there. And obviously there's a size difference, which Deshaun Jackson is 2 inches taller. And, Josh Allen is 5 inches taller. But in terms of play style and coming out, very similar. Improv guys, good arms, right? More so on the Josh Allen side, strong arms. Same thing with Malik Willis. I think Deshaun Watson has a stronger arm than people give him credit for. Ability to improv and the way that they run. This is why I didn't use Michael Vick like other people used Michael Vick. It's simply because Michael Vick, when he ran the ball, it was almost like Devin Hester or Chris Johnson running the ball. When Malik Willis, Deshaun Watson, and Josh Allen run the ball, they run the ball not necessarily for the house call. They run the ball just to see whatever's in front of them, and they'll slide. They'll finish a run with physicality, or they'll run out of bounds. Mike Vick didn't do that. Mike Vick ran like a running back or a returner. It was almost like when he ran, it was like a punt returner, just caught a punt. So that's the difference for me. But I think what the Tennessee Titans are getting is just a player like you can think of even Patrick Mahomes, who I admittedly thought that this player is going to have to sit, which he did sit. So I give myself credit on that. But he had the arm talent, but some of the decisions that he made was like, whoa, like why'd you make that decision? Like I almost neglected the arm talent so much because of the decision making. And I think it's almost like over again. That like some people get it. Okay, we have a good talent. Just like with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, okay, we had a great talent, but some people didn't have Mahomes or Allen rated very high because, okay, there's accuracy issues here, there's decision making, strong arm, but this year, some people were coming around to the fact that yes, we said the same thing about Josh Allen, we said the same thing about Patrick Mahomes, who are the two best quarterbacks in the league right now. And if you're a good coach, you're going to make it work. That's the thing. You're going to make it work. If you're a good coach, you're going to develop and you're going to make Malik Willis into just as good as a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. There's no reason why he shouldn't. The exaggerated proclamations of him not having accuracy are BS. The processing skills, yes, he has to. I think he's probably a lesser processor than Mahomes coming out. I think he's probably right on par or a little bit less than Josh Allen coming out. But that's fine. He can sit. He's going to sit behind, I think, as close to a perfect quarterback to emulate that will basically, if he emulates Ryan Tannehill, his learning curve will be shortened substantially because everything that Malik Willis has to get better at, Ryan Tannehill does well. Ryan Tannehill knows his, I wouldn't say check downs as much because that's not really the offense. You don't have a running back to check down to consistently. But Ryan Tannehill is going to go through the system. He's going to go through his progressions. He's not scared to make tight window throws, which I think I'd love to see Malik Willis trust himself more to make tight window throws. Ryan Tannehill I'm not gonna say he knows when to run. These are two things: check downs. Ryan Tannehill knows his hots, but check downs and knowing when to run. I think Tannehill should run more. But then again, he's the one taking the hits. But I think from a standpoint of as a pure passer and as an experienced veteran into becoming a professional, that's a great mentor to have in Ryan Tannehill. Especially for Malik Willis, trusting himself to make tight window throws. When you see it, take it. Because those windows close a lot faster in the NFL. And you have the arm talent to make it. Just make it accuracy. Just make it accurate and on time. But that's the good. There's so much good about what he can be. The bad is obviously the running prowess getting him hurt. I don't see from a character profile, I don't see him slacking off to the degree that he'll be a bust because he's somewhere clubbing, like or overeats or is drinking lean. I don't think that's going to be the issue with Malik Willis. I don't think it'll be anything character concerned. It's going to be injury because of running ability or just the fact of maybe trying to do too much and being stubborn, but I don't see that from his profile. And the thing is, a lot of running quarterbacks don't get hurt when they run. They actually get hurt when they're in the pocket. So other than that, I think that this is as a home run of a draft pick for the Titans that I've seen in a while, because it is at the most important position. During his pre-draft process, he did take a dip, 0.02 points for me, because I graded before all the hype, and then I graded, that last week until the draft. He did take a dip, and the reason being was I think people were overhyping him as being like truly being a better Michael Vick or truly being like a top tier quarterback in his first year. I don't think that's the case. I think that you sit behind Ryan Tannehill, you make him earn everything that he gets, and by year 2 or 3, you have the guy that I was talking about earlier. You have a guy that's on par with Mahomes. You have a guy that's on par with Josh Allen. But even though I think if you force him in earlier, it won't deteriorate his confidence like some quarterbacks. I just don't. I think he's as infallible mentally as you can possibly get. But I do think that if you give it to him too early, he's not going to learn some of the lessons that he needs to learn. And that's really it. I think this is a surefire pick. I gave it an A, solid A. It's just, it's a fantastic selection. And, he's gonna be the quarterback of the future, and you're gonna get 2 or 3 years of him at a premium cost in terms of the salary cap. So good pick. Ready for the next.